Anjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 24. And today we'll be studying text number 21. Kodanitai, Kodanitai, Kodani. Boro suker kaburgai, Boro suker kaburgai. Okay, so we've been hearing about Kardama Muni and Devahuti, and Lord Brahma has spoken to them and glorified Kapila Dev, which will be the son of Devahuti, and let us see where we go to now. Here you go, shown in advance view. Is it on the screen? Okay. So we heard about Narada Muni and the four Kumars. They didn't stay. Many sages came with Brahma to go and speak with Kardama Muni and Devahuti, but Narada Muni and the four Kumaras, they weren't going to get married like their brothers, so they went back with Brahma. So that was what we just touched on. They were not to attend the marriage ceremony of their other brothers, Manichi and the other sages, and therefore they went back with their father, Hangsa, which is another name for Brahma. So now we're 21. Here we go. Oh, I missed my word for word. Oh my. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Synonyms. Nagi. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. So here's 21. Gate Shata Dhritao Kshataha Kardamaha Tena Choditaha Yatha Uditam Svaduritri Pradat Vishvasrijam Tataha Gate Shatadritau Kshata Karamastena Choditaha Yatoditam Svaduritri Pradad Vishvasrijam Tata Gate Shatadritau Kshata Kardamastena Chodita Yatoditam Svaduritri Pradar Vishvasrijam Tata Gate Shatadritau Kshata Kardamastena Chodita Yatoditam Svaduritri Pradad Vishvasrijam Tata.
I don't think Gurudev is in the chat. Yeah. Gurudev, are you in the chat or is that somebody else? That's under Krishna monks. Okay, he's not online. Kate Shatadrita Shata
Kardamastena choditaha
Kardamastena Choditaha
Yatoditam svaduhitri
Yatoditam Sudhitri
Radha Vishvashvajam tataha
Pradad Vishvasrijam Tataha Kate Shatadrita Shata
Kate Shatadrita Shata
Kardamastena Chodita
Kardamastena choditaha
Yatoditam Swaduhitri
Yatoditam svaduhitri
Prada Vishwas Srijam Tata
Radha Vishvashvajam tataha
Sarvamangala.
गतेशता धृतौषतः
Kate Shatadrita Shata
कर्दमस्तेन चोदितः
Kardamastena Choditaha
यथोदितं सदुहित्रः
Yatoditam Swaduhitri
प्रादात् विश्वसृजां ततः
Prada Vishwas Srijam Tata. Niraj Prabhu.
गते शतधृतौ क्षतः
Kate Shatadrita Shata
कर्दंस्तेन चोदितः
Kardamastena Choditaha
यथोदितं स्वदुहितृतिः
Yatoditam Swaduhitri
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः
Pradad Vishwasrijam Tata
Gate shata dhृतौक्षतः
Kate Shatadrita Shata
कर्दमस्तेन चोदितः
Kardamastena
यथोदितं स्वदिहित्रिः
यतोदितं स्वदुहित्री
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां तथा
Hare Krishna.
ज्योति को खानी
यते शताद्रुतौक्षतः
कृतेशतऋता शतः
कर्तमस्तेन चोदितः
कदमस्तेन चोदितः
चोदितं स्वधृत्रे
यतोदितं स्वदुहित्री
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः प्रियजयस्वा
गते शतधृतोक्षतः
कृतेशतऋता शतः
कर्दमस्तेन चोदितः
कदमस्तेन चोदितः
यथोदितं स्वदुहित्रिः
यथोदितं स्वदुहित्री
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः
प्रादाद्विश्वसृजां ततः That's everyone.
Gate, after he departed, Shatadritao, Lord Brahma, Kshataha, Overduta, Kardamaha, Kardama Muni, Tena, by him, Choditaha, ordered, Yata Uditam, as told, Swaduhit, Swaduhitrihi, his own daughters, Pradat, handed over, Vishwasrijam, to the creators of the world's population. Tataha, thereafter. Translation. O Vidura, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. Text 22 and 23. In call and response, Marichaye Kalam Pradar Anasuyamatatraye Shraddham Angirase Yachat Pulastyaya Havirbhuvam Pulahaya Gatim Yuktam Kratave Chakriyam Satim Kyatim Cha Brigave Yachad Vasishtayapyan Yarundatim. Kardama Muni handed over his daughter Kala to Marichi, and another daughter, Anasuya, to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira, and Havirbhu to Pulastya. He delivered Gati to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Kratu, Khyati to Brigu, and Arundhati to Vasishta. Text 24. Attarvane dadach chantim yaya yagno vitanyate Viprashabhan krito dvahan Sadaran samalalayat He delivered Shanti to Atharva. Because of Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Thus he got the foremost Brahmanas married, and he maintained them along with their wives. Text 25. Tatastarshayakshata krita dara namantriyatam pratishtanandim apana Swam swam ashrama mandalam. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kardama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage over Dura. Text 26. In unison. Sachavatirnam triyugam Agyaya vibudharshabam vivikta upasangamya pranamya samabhashata. When Kardama Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all demigods, Vishnu, had descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows. Purport. Lord Vishnu is called Triyuga. He appears in 3 yugas, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara. But in Kali Yuga, he does not appear. From the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, however, we understand that he appears garbed as a devotee in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya is that devotee. Krishna appeared in the form of a devotee, but although he never disclosed himself, Rupa Goswami could understand his identity, for the Lord cannot hide himself from a pure devotee. Rupa Goswami detected him when he offered his first obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. He knew that Lord Chaitanya was Krishna himself, and therefore offered his obeisances with the following words. I offer my respects to Krishna, who has now appeared as Lord Chaitanya. This is also confirmed in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. In Kali Yuga, he does not directly appear, but he appears as a devotee. Vishnu is therefore known as Triyuga. Another explanation of Triyuga is that he has 3 pairs of divine attributes, namely power and affluence, piety and renown, and wisdom and dispassion. According to Sridhar Swami, his 3 pairs of opulences are complete riches and complete strength, complete fame and complete beauty, and complete wisdom and complete renunciation. There are different interpretations of Triyuga, but it is accepted by all learned scholars that Triyuga means Vishnu. When Kardama Muni understood that his son Kapila was Vishnu himself, he wanted to offer his obeisances. Therefore, when Kapila was alone, he offered his respects and expressed his mind as follows. Let's read some more, Text 27 in unison. Aho papachyamananam niraye svar amanglayai kalena bhuyasanunam prasidanti hadevata. Kardama Muni said, Oh, after a long time, the demigods of this universe have become pleased with the suffering souls who are in material entanglement because of their own misdeeds. Purport. This material world is a place for suffering, which is due to the misdeeds of the inhabitants, the conditioned souls themselves. The sufferings are not extraneously imposed upon them. Rather, the conditioned souls create their own suffering by their own acts. In the forest, fire takes place automatically. It is not that someone has to go there and set a fire because of friction, Because of friction among various trees, fire occurs automatically. When there is too much heat from the forest fire of this material world, the demigods, including Brahma himself, being harassed, approach the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and appeal to him to alleviate the condition. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends. In other words, when the demigods become distressed by the sufferings of the conditioned souls, they approach the Lord to remedy the suffering, and the Personality of Godhead descends. When the Lord descends, all the demigods become enlivened. Therefore, Kardama Muni said, after many, many years of human suffering, all the demigods are now satisfied, because Kapila Dev, the incarnation of Godhead, has appeared. So we know the famous verse, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Abhyutanam adharmasya, when we have a rise in adharma, right? And this is an interesting point here that Srila Prabhupada clarifies, that this material world is a place of suffering. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Right? Dukhalayam. It's a place. It's a place of dukkha, suffering. But why is it a place of suffering? Because of our own misdeeds. And this is spoken by Kardama Muni himself. He says, Amangalai, inauspicious deeds, by the misdeeds. Amangalai comes in a few places in the Bhagavatam. Let's check the other reference. This is from 1.14.40. Let's chant this together. Kachchena bihato bhavai shaddha divir amangalai nadatam uktam artibhya ashaya yat pratishutam. Amangalai, inauspicious. Let's do the word for it too. Kachit, whether. Na, could not. Abhihataha, addressed by. Abhavai, unfriendly. Shabda adibhi, by sounds. Amangalai, inauspicious. Na, did not. Dattam, given charity. Uktam, is said. Artibhyaha, unto one who asked. Ashaya, with hope. Yat, what? Pratishrutam, promise to be paid. Has someone addressed you with unfriendly words or threatened you? Could you not give charity to one who asked? Or could you not keep your promise to someone? So this is chapter 14. So, what was it? You know the reference? Yeah. Let's see here. This is the disappearance of Lord Krishna. I think this is Arjuna's become so weakened, right? So, yeah, Arjuna is completely. So we have this amangalai, right? Inauspiciousness. Did someone? Let's go back here. So, yeah, this is the one. Oh, it's text 4. What was it again? I have to go back. Shabdadvir amangalai. He was addressed with some unfriendly words or threatening words. So let's go back. Amangalai words. Inauspicious. So when there's inauspiciousness in the world, right, then the Lord descends. So who causes this inauspiciousness? How can the completely auspicious Supreme Lord cause inauspiciousness for anyone? And this is actually a matter of an important topic, because this is what the materialists say. We were hearing from His Holiness Dhanavir Goswami Maharaj the other day, and he was describing how the atheist class, they say, how can there be God if there's so much evil in the world? You know? How can there be some God if there's all these evil things? And they make this show out of being very righteous. They say, I will not stand for such a God. It's very interesting psychology, you know? Actually, I was reading yesterday that the desire to do righteous activities may also sometimes be in the category of demonic, right? And we hear actually that in the Bhagavad Gita, the demonic person of demonic mentality with this Aishwarya Bhav, these demonic qualities, he says, I will perform some charity, you know, and I will rejoice. And this desire to be one who performs righteous or beneficial acts is not always, you know, righteous indeed, because it's performed in a mixed modes. Pure righteousness is Shuddha Sattva. And that's the thing that the materialists, they just cannot distinguish that. They cannot understand the supremely auspicious Sankirtan process. They look at us and they say, come on guys, you know, don't you need to get a job or something? You know, or they may say, you know, yeah, you know, that's nice, you know, it's good entertainment for us, you know, nice to dance to it. Right, so it's not possible for them to see with transcendental vision because they don't know what is spirit and what is matter. So they may have some materialistic conceptions. But if they're pious, then they'll have a little, or they're fortunate, they'll have a little appreciation even if they don't understand what it is. That's called innocence. Innocence means I happen to appreciate something which is of real value, right? Even though I don't have a transcendental vision to actually understand it. So we meet people like that, you know, where they're like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. And even the Kanishthadikari, it's described, the Kanishthadikari, sometimes he even gets into the devotional service without developing his Shastric faith. You know? I think it's called Shastriya Shraddha. He has this, he has a faith which is based on the conclusions of the Vedas. But there may be the neophytes which actually engage in the process of devotional service based on a type of an innocence and good association. And because they're kind of they have some inclination to, Prabhupada describes in the purports to Gita, which we were reading recently, that by an innocence and good association, they happen to be engaged, right? But from that point, one is urged by Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnava Acharyas, we have to come up to the Madhyama platform, which is based on Shastric faith, and one at that time gets to understand the devotees of the Lord, and he actually gets to engage in the service of the Mahats, or Mahat Seva. He actually can recognize this is actually an Uttama Bhakta, or this is actually a devotee, and he serves that person with faith and devotion, and also he always offers respects to the devotees who are still imperfect, but he makes sure to offer them all respects, as well as the brahmanas who are righteous people, and he ends up offering respects to everybody to varying degrees, because that's the concept of a Madhyama Adhikari, is everybody must be respected. Amanina manadena. Right? If we want to always chant the holy name, then we have to be ready to offer all respects to others. And actually, to criticize and find faults is without intention to, there's actually three noble causes for fault finding, to elevate that person, to elevate the world, or to elevate one's own self. But it's kind of subtle, so it's always dangerous to get into fault finding. So we have to be ready to offer all respects to others, right? And we expect no respect for ourselves. So the Madhyamadikari, he can actually understand, well, this devotee, I respect him, right? But I don't do whatever he says at every second, because, I have that primary service relationship with my spiritual masters, with the Uttama Adhikaris, right? And at the same, but I offer all respect, right? And even if they're initiated, then I offer them obeisances, and I always address them as Prabhu, or Bhakta James, or Bhaktin, Carly, or whatever it is, right? So this is the concept. So the reason why I was talking about this is because we want to get some Shastric faith, and we can understand this point, which I'll wrap up. I'll go back to the purport, is that many people, they criticize God and they dare to claim he does not exist because there's unrighteousness in the world, right? And the Supreme Lord is the possessor and the expounder, or the wellspring of all auspiciousness. So how can he be the cause of inauspicious things in the world? No, actually, rather, we are the cause of the sufferings that we suffer. And there's a Gita verse which describes this, that we are actually maintaining the universe. There's this verse. They're the living entities who are struggling with the six senses in the mind, right? and they are actually maintaining the universe. Maybe that's two verses mixed together. But the concept is, because of our material desires, right, then we act on the material platform. And when we act on the material platform, there is various types of reactions, punya and papa. And, the material world is built in such a way that acting materially, whether it be for punya or papa, righteous or impious, there will be some sort of a suffering, because in this material world, you always have the duality. So if you get some enjoyment, you also get some suffering. Because eventually, say you get some enjoyment by doing pious works, you have to lose that enjoyment, and losing that enjoyment will also be a type of a suffering. This is the concept behind the material world, is because it's temporary. So even if we do exclusively righteous works, right, then eventually I'll be deprived of that enjoyment because of the limited timeline, that I have. So the only way to get full auspiciousness forever is to go to the spiritual platform. And the demigods, they know our welfare and the welfare of the whole universe is ensured by the descent of the incarnations of the Lord. And they have come to enact their transcendental pastimes. Lord Kapila Dev has now come to enact his transcendental pastimes, and we will all be elevated to the real level of auspiciousness by hearing and chanting about his glories and witnessing his pastimes. So thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to add anything? Yes, Jagannath Prabhu?
Haribo, I was just, I liked what you said about the whole innocence thing. It made me think about a situation that happened to me while I was distributing books. And basically what happened was I approached a young Hispanic man, and I told him about the books and asked him if he could give a donation. So he was young, I don't know, he might have been 18 or 20. He was with his parents. So he asked his father for a donation, and when his father asked him, why should I give this guy a donation? He said, just to support this cause, para soportar. And I thought it was interesting that you brought that up today, because even though he was a Christian, he told me, like, Jesus loves you, all the stuff they usually tell us. Even though he was doing that, he still took the book and gave a donation. So, yeah, and then I have a question. My question is, what is the difference between Kapila Muni and Lord Chaitanya? Because they were both born in Brahmana families.
Well, in one sense, there's no difference between them. But in another sense, Lord Chaitanya is the avatari. He's Krishna himself. He's actually the reservoir of all the incarnations, like Kapila Dev. So, Kapila Dev? Oh, Lord Chaitanya? I'm not sure about the scientific categorization. Jaikesha was mentioning that if maybe Lord Chaitanya is categorized as a Leela avatar. So I liked your reference there to the innocent boy, and this is the supremely auspicious nature of Sankirtan. It's the white moon, the spreading of the Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagnir Nirvapanam. Shreya Kairavi Chandrika. Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam. So this is the spreading of the white lotus moon of auspiciousness. This is the Sankirtan movement. So we simply have to continually sow the seeds of Krishna Bhakti within everyone we meet by chanting and distributing books wherever we go. And anyone who touches this movement will be benefited. And if they appreciate or if they engage in some service willingly or unwillingly, then in due course of time they will, by contact with devotional service, they will have more opportunities for devotional service. And they will be inextricably pulled to the Lord's lotus feet. Sankirtan Yagya ki jai. Lord Kapila Dev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to some devotees.